we have the small rig Andiax kit that they just sent me. It just came in. They actually sent it pretty quick. All right, going through it, we have first over here the blower like lens kit and lens cleaning thing. So we have some spare parts and the screws. Looks like you have a card case, like a pretty solid card case. So yeah, you got SD, you got micro, you got CFB, CFA, microfiber cloth, and then you have various gaff tapes. You have the small rig tool, and then you have some Allen keys, as well as like their flathead thing. So this is also a pocket back here apparently. But in here you get an HDMI cable, so an extra HDMI, extra nameplate, and some Velcro ties. I would say just off the rip, $80 for this is kind of steep in my opinion. I mean, you get the nice case, which is cool, but nothing in here really needs protected by this case. I love Andiax. I see where the idea is there, with kind of having just like this like kit of things where you could go out on set and fix stuff. I just don't know. I feel like they may have missed the mark with this one personally. It's cool, don't get me wrong, and I'm appreciative to have gotten it for free. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe if I were to go through and like add a couple of the things in here that I would need. And I do like the size of the case. Like the case is honestly the selling factor to me. Yeah, I just think they could have found maybe a couple other things. Like even just having like an extra Manfrotto plate in there. I like the SD card case. Like this is nice. You could just, you know, fill this up. That's like that. This is probably the most useful part to me. And this thing feels solid. $80 price tag. Knowing good and well, you can get a lot of these things for really, really cheap on like Amazon and stuff. I think a good AC could turn this into something usable and have a nice kit, but $80 is kind of steep. If you do want it, you can use the link in my description to buy it. If this interests you, though, helps me out. All right, made it to our location. About a 3-hour drive here in Austin. I'm gonna go introduce myself and then start getting my stuff put on the cart to bring in. Yo, hey, how's it going?
Going good.
Jared.
Ethan.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Guys are on here.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna get my stuff. I think we're gonna shoot it in here. Sorry, that shot was all over the place. I don't wanna just like walk in and put a camera in their face and stuff. It's weird for everybody. As always, we're not gonna do anything special here. We're gonna do a DJI lav mic straight into camera. We're gonna do a hair light if we can. And we're gonna do the 300C as our key light. So we have to do testimonials about the product that we're filming for today, which is a monitor. We have to do headshots, which are super simple. We have to do one long form piece where they kind of are giving like their pro tips and stuff. All this is gonna be on the tripod. There's gonna be a little bit of B-roll of them just kind of dealing with the monitor and stuff. Yeah, because they wanna go like performance, visual clarity, design, and then once we get to your personal experience, it can just be you just rambling. Ooh, I don't really do sweets, but I know Shake Shack has some like bomb shakes. Or Whataburger. Whataburger's got some like pristine shakes.
I mean, isn't Dairy Queen kind of just the standard too?
We call it Dirty Queen here, so I mean, it's up to you. I don't do Dairy Queen personally. Personal experience, how the monitor has impacted you in your gaming, and then any improvements that you may have seen so far. Nice. Sweet. That was probably the longest piece of content we got, so. All right, we're gonna put the mic on you, but we're just gonna use a magnet this time.
Sure.
So it'll go in, yep, that way. All right, then we'll clear out the plastic, the cup, and the shirt. I think the last two things I have is your advice for people who want to be in IGL, like what's the best tips you have and stuff.
I hope you liked the video. Leave a comment, subscribe, and see you guys next time.
Dub, big dub, that was fluid. All right, we have headshots, which won't take long at all. And then we have the
Unboxing.
Oh yeah, the unboxing.
That'll be fast.
And then like the little stuff in the garage will also be really fast. So yeah, I think we'll be done by 3. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, I think I will have to put a reflector on there. Obviously this is off the DJI Osmo, but I think we're getting a lot of bounce. And I want that to be like as pitch black as I can make it. So I'm gonna put the reflector on there, see if I can curve some of that. This is posing to be a challenge. Still getting some spill back there, and I need it to be just straight up silhouettes, so. All right, so I think I got it as best as I can. You can still see the stuff on the sides, but where they're gonna be standing is gonna be black, so unfortunately it's just gonna require some color grading magic, just vignetting this and all that. It shouldn't be that hard to honestly make it look like they're in a dark room and just silhouette them, so. That's what we're running with. Cholula hot sauce?
Yeah.
Oh,
These guys
dude.
never tried it, and I'm like,
Oh, yeah, dude. Cholula is top notch. Actually, yeah, kind of like at that angle is kind of dope. And then let's take a half step back. Okay, we're gonna kind of turn this way.
This way?
Yep. This is gonna be a pain. And do, so look at the wall behind, like, yeah. Like turn your whole body. All right, I would say that that was a pretty successful content day. This is actually a pretty important one for me to make sure I do good on, because this is a potential reoccurring client that I can get, not only for just like coming down to Austin and doing stuff for them, but for travel as well. This is esports. I talk about it all the time. I'm trying to stick with esports, and this is a great org to hopefully be a part of. Still didn't find a use for the Andiax small rig toolkit, which I guess is a good thing. If I'm not having to fix stuff, that's probably not like seen as a downside. I think I'm gonna add a SD card reader, and I'm gonna add like 2 backup SD cards to it. I think that'll really help kind of cover a lot of scenarios that you could run into. But I do think that's the point, is you kind of just build it as you go, and when you do need it, it's there. So this is something I really want your advice on, to whoever's watching this and can give advice. I'm kind of in a transitional period right now with what I'm trying to do as a business. Before I was kind of targeting, you know, the $400 or $500 jobs, $600 jobs, whatever. And then like a good job would be if I made like $1,000 in a day. And then I was also kind of producing stuff on the side. And I say that lightly. I was more so just kind of like the middleman for getting somebody a position somewhere else that it was needed, and making a little money off of that. So I recently started to transition into a higher base pay, essentially. And I kind of took a lot of inspiration from Tommy Bill. He just posted about, you know, his prices on his website and stuff like that. One, it doesn't leave up for question on how much I want to charge or how much I want to make. And 2, I can confidently tell somebody like, this is what I charge and these are my prices. As before, somebody would say, you know, how much would you charge for a thing like this? And most of the time, I would just unconfidently say, you know, probably 700, 800. And that's such a terrible way to answer a client when they're trying to figure out how much they are going to spend on you coming out. The downside of this transition is definitely a lot more rejection here lately. A lot of jobs that I feel like I definitely would get because I'm trying to properly price myself for what I think my time is worth. I am getting so many more ghostings and rejections. And I had a great conversation with Peter Mokri, literally a 2-hour phone call. So one of the things he was kind of telling me is that when you kind of transition out of this period into the next thing, it's kind of like starting over a little bit. You're basically having to re-find more clients, because now you're looking for a new bracket of clients. It made sense, and it kind of is just really a tough transition to make and like accept that I have to find, you know, clients that are willing to pay these other prices. And just to be completely transparent, a few days ago, I had basically hit my 5th or 6th rejection from a client, whether it was being ghosted or just whatever. And I mean, it was it was just very, very disheartening. Yeah, anybody who's kind of gone through this or anything, I would definitely love to open this up for conversation. Just, you know, any advice. But I'm also working on starting a production company, which is kind of crazy. This is something I've thought about for probably a year and a half, maybe 2 years now. Film Club Productions is also going to target a lot of esports. I've talked about this 1,000 times. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to stay with. And this is probably the scene that I know the best. So back to what I was saying a while ago, I definitely want to open this up for conversation, whether that's in the comments, Instagram DMs, whatever. I definitely want to hear people's opinions, the success that they've had building production companies, or not building a production company, but building their own brand. or transitioning from the lower paying clients to the higher paying clients, because I want the advice, one, but two, for people reading this who are kind of in the same boat or eventually will be in the same boat, hopefully that there will just be like a nice conversation down there that they can glean some advice from. The last thing I want to talk about, I would love to know if people have any interest in me starting a Discord. My idea would be anybody who's watching can come to the Discord channel and have these same exact conversations, and then hopefully find a way to where I can basically tag people by city, break it down to where, like, let's say you're in Chicago, you join the Discord channel and you have access to talk to everybody. But then also, because of your tag of Chicago, you'll be in a channel in and of itself that is just for Chicago filmmakers. Let's say I'm traveling to Chicago, I can go into the Chicago chat or just at somebody at, you know, the Chicago people or whatever, and say, hey, looking for a photographer in Chicago for these dates, DM me if you're available. Let's have a conversation in the comments. I look forward to it.